This is the objective. We're going to create an operational FCC account. Up till now, we've been using Mike's. What the operational FCC account will permit us to do is to share it with all the instructors who are going to instruct the live lesson. That means that there won't be any specific name associated with the account other than instructor. Otherwise, it would always appear as there he is.
Hi, I'm Mike Starr. I lost my.
I see you're still in the meeting, Mike. Can you see my screen, which is right now the document you wrote up?
No, let me try logging back in because my screen just went to the download the web app screen. I don't know why it did that. Let me try reloading it.
Okay, well, we'll let you try to get back into the meeting, and I'll go on with the reason for us being here. Once we establish the operational account, which will be associated with the same email address as our Google Docs, then we'll be able to do a number of things, including preparing for training, preparing documentation, logging in as the actual login that you will use if you were to be instructing a live lesson. And let me point out that having, let me check something here in case somebody's trying to get in touch with me email-wise. Okay, Mike has just sent a couple of other items here. The benefit of having the live lesson operational account associated with our Google Docs account is that it'll be combining the inbox for where FCC messages are going to come into the same account that owns the account. So when FCC sends an email, it's going to send it to cgs2060.cci@gmail.com. That is the address that's going to be used to sign up for this account, which we're going to do now. The benefits, again, is once we actually have an account, live lesson, all the screenshots that we're going to be able to take or have to take are going to have the right information in the instructor name, in the all the other features which identify this. We'll have the URL, which we can start to put into the documentation as we see fit. So a lot of benefit. This is a big bottleneck step that we want to get past so we can move on with the rest of our project. Mike, are you in?
Yes, I'm back on.
Okay.
And, I lost Skype. I lost everything. So, but I'm back on.
Okay. Well, I can hear you, so you must be back on Skype, and I can see you registered into the meeting. So.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good now.
You're good. Okay, Brian. Are you ready to take control of the meeting? And then, Mike, if you would kindly lead Brian through those steps, or Brian, if you have the steps in front of you. We're going to be following, I'm going to be following along in a document that Mike has sent, and it goes through all of these steps. And I would say, well, I know you're seeing what I'm seeing now. This is a document I'm looking at. I believe that the install steps. I'm not. This is a comment I made earlier. These are. This documentation will eventually be turned into more formal, easily followed documentation, so that step 1, step 2, step 3, and so forth. But Mike, I'm going to you clearly know the drill. I'm going to now pass control to Brian.
Hey,
and then,
hey, Steve.
Yes.
Real quick, I'm having a bit of an issue here. There's people outside doing the grass and all that stuff for our complex, and they keep walking past. I've got my mic turned off when you guys are talking, but they keep coming past every couple minutes. I don't know how that's going to affect things.
Okay. Then, Mike, can we ask you to take over the presentership and actually create the account? And I'm recording this, so we'll have a record of how one goes about this should anybody need to do this again. Is that okay with you, Mike?
Oh, yeah, sure. So you want me to get into free conference call and set up a new account.
No, yes, I want you, right. And the reason we're not using free conference
Yeah.
call as our vehicle to have this meeting is because I was afraid that there'd be some conflict
Right,
with you
right.
being in a free conference call trying to create an account. It might get a little confused.
Exactly, but you basically want me to set up a new free
Yes,
conference call
this is it.
account.
We're setting up
Yeah.
the real account right here, right now.
Okay.
Now, I see
Okay,
you, yeah, unfortunately, I see you logged in twice as a participant, and I have a small fear that I'm going to pass presentership to one of the sessions that is no longer active. If you open your participants window, which you can all do, you'll notice Mike is in there twice. So we'll have to take a chance, I guess. All right, Mike, let me see if I can pass presentership to you. I'm going to, okay. Tell me if you got a pop-up on your screen that invites
it looks
you to...
like things have changed here. So,
okay. All right, so
yeah, it looks like
share your
so you
desktop.
want to record. There's
Share
a
your-
record button here. Do you want me to
No. You don't need to record. You don't need to record.
Oh, okay.
All you need to do is click share my desktop, and we'll see what's on your screen. And then you will go through the steps of creating this operational account, and you'll provide commentary that mimics what you told us in your document.
Okay. Okay, so I clicked on share my desktop.
Okay.
Um,
It might take a second.
Tell me if the free conference call screen comes up.
I don't see your desktop yet. And if anybody else on the call would let me know if they see Mike's desktop.
No, I don't see it.
Me neither.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm clicking
Okay.
on it.
Let me do. It may be that because you're in here
Well,
twice.
okay.
Oh, there we go.
I have two screens, as you mentioned. Whoa, something's going on here. Do you see this?
Yeah.
There's my-
Give it a chance. I
I
think
have,
it'll.
I have no idea what that is.
I have a feeling it's because you're logged in twice. All right. Tell you what, Mike. Could you? I'm going to.
Let me try that.
Oh, there we go. Okay, it just cleared. It just cleared. It took a while for it to figure out what was going on. I see your desktop. I see your. I see you clicking. Great. All right. Here we go.
Okay, so. Okay, well, we're going to sign up a new account. Now you're going to have to give me the information in the email here. What's the email address?
Okay,
that
it's
I'm supposed to use
right.
for this?
It's and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's CGS 2060
Okay.
dot CCI at gmail.com. Okay, so this account now is forever linked to this email address. Okay. And now we're taking to a profile account info. And this is where Mike indicated that we have to be very specific about what we put in the profile. Okay, you're welcome. So we get, before you go anywhere, Mike, before you go there, notice that we've been given a dial-in number and a meeting ID and a URL. So these, and I guess we're going to be creating a password here momentarily. But this is what I did was I took a screen capture of all of this so I wouldn't forget all of this stuff. So, but I'm recording it so we have it. So these numbers are going to be, and the URL will be critical going forward. Okay, Mike, proceed.
Okay. Next step is I'm going to create a password.
Okay, so you clicked on password. Now, what were your suggestions for password, or were there any, or really?
Just long. I mean, I try to look at the long term, and I sent back information to both of you. So I would just say tie it to the term somehow, because you can, by resetting the password each term. For example, you're effectively creating a new account with a new set of URL, and for security reasons, instructors may come and go, students come and go down the road. So I just am suggesting that we do this every term, a new password, and somehow relate the password to the term. But that's just a suggestion.
Okay, let me ask you. Let me ask you a question. This is the password that an instructor will have to key in to get access as the host instructor.
Yes, this is the password that any instructor who's hosting the session will put in, and it will take into that phone number, that session ID.
Okay, so why don't we put in Fall Mini, I think was your suggestion, as a password now.
Okay, so I'm using all small letters, Fall Mini.
Okay. And this is this password we can change, for instance, in the spring, or for the winter term, rather.
Yes.
Okay.
You can, and actually, you can, just to bring up one other point, only one live session with this account can be active at a time. So let's say the 12-week course ran Monday at 2 p.m. and you want to run a 6-week live session on Monday to avoid any overlap, etc. You just set up another password and call it Mini Spring, and now you have a separate account that you can run both of those simultaneously at the same time with different instructors.
Okay, let me understand that, because I want to be clear. With just one email address, we can create 2 different URLs, 2 different dial-in numbers, 2 different meeting IDs, so that we can actually run 2 simultaneous sessions at a time. Is that correct?
Yes, and even beyond that, unlimited amount of accounts. All you have to do, now changing the password here will not generate a new URL, but if you want to start a new account with the same Gmail address, you can just sign up and just put a new password. Let's say by accident you type in Fall Mini to try to do a new account, and I've already experimented with this. It will come back and say that this account already exists. So you could do a 12-week, 10-week, 6-week, all with the same Gmail address. Start new accounts with all unique passwords. You can change the password within each of these accounts, and it will still keep the same URL. So you can have 3.
Okay.
You can have a 12-week, a 10-week. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll get into the details of how you would actually strike another account later on. So let's just continue on with this. I think you were about to go up to the profile.
Right.
Okay. What do we want to do in the profile?
Okay. Now, in the profile, we're going to put instructor. Now, it did turn out that we can change this. I experimented and you can change it. But this way, whoever is the host, their name will show up as instructor. And then we'll just save it here. Oh, very important for Brian. Brian, what time zone are you in? Personally, what's your home local time zone?
I'm in Central Time.
Okay, very important. Because Brian is the administrator and he will be sending out the invites, this time zone must reflect the time zone of whoever is sending out the invites, which is Brian. Okay, so we're going to put in that. Just one other feature to show you: if Brian, you're on vacation or whatever, and you wanted these reports to go to somebody else, you can put in their email address here or multiple full email addresses and have all yearly reports from every live session sent to somebody else.
Okay, so we'll do that. We'll consider that later when we figure out who we want to copy. Right now, you're leaving out the last name I see, and the first name is instructor. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. Very good. Okay, so you've hit save,
Okay,
obviously. Okay, good. So now we've taken care of our profile.
Right. Now, what I want to do is go to the meeting wall. And we're going to skip this for now.
So let's get started. Okay, so you just closed that. Let's
Right.
get started. I mean I've seen that too. I know what it does, but good. So this is sort of like a summary. This is like a summary screen here.
But this is the wall that students can access. When they're sent an email to be invited, they get two links. One link joins into the session, the other link joins into the wall, the meeting wall. Here, you can put in like an Everest logo, but we basically don't want any instructor to be in this and editing the host information, because it's just going to create more work for Brian. Like the instructor may say, well, this is great, I'll put my picture here. No, this wall right here is strictly for access by the administrator, even though the host can get into it anytime. Okay. Just to point out, if, for example, there's something that needs to be available for any student to upload for any session, Brian can upload documents in here, as an example. But let's drop down. This is important. We're going to set up the web controller now, and set up some default options. This is the default options. Within the documentation, I sent some suggestions for the default, so we could collectively agree on this, hopefully now, to save some time. Personally, you would get that beep when somebody attends, like on WebEx, etc. And it's, for me, I don't know about anybody else, but it's annoying when you're trying to host a session and you hear the beep. You'll see people come in. So what I'm recommending is that we turn this feature to off.
It's fine with me.
Okay.
Yep.
This right here is the account. If you defaults a host account, you could do all, but it makes sense to be post. Okay, display attendee list. This is what we talked about on Tuesday. The recommendation would be post only. That way, those students see each other's phone numbers and Skype names or whatever. Is that okay? Post only?
Okay. And wait, Mike. Obviously, we can still get an attendee list. It's just that it's not displayed. Correct?
Okay.
Okay.
All this does is not displayed on the screen of the attendees.
Okay.
While we're in the live session, it will be shown. You can see it on the host screen, and not as an attendee. Okay. Now, these two are very important, and this is part of that PowerPoint template in session management. It's wait for host. This is very important because it will happen. Students will be trying, we wrote down, suggested, right? 15 minutes early, the host goes in. But, just like what happened to me 10 minutes ago, I lost my connection. I got it back up.
Right. So we want this set to on.
Yes. That's
okay.
Correct. We want
Good.
it on, and there's different times. Wait for host. Right now, he or she's supposed to be in 15 minutes early. Students need to get in early as well. So, what time do you want to set this? Wait for the host. Schedule time. So, if you want to wait 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
Well, we shouldn't have to wait.
Basically, once the host. Please participants on hold for preset time before the host joins. So the host is supposed to be in 15 minutes early.
Right.
Let's say the host can't get in until 5 minutes early, and the student's already comes 5 minutes early.
Right.
So, I'm
Go
just
ahead.
recommending 10 or 20 minutes. Is everybody okay with that? 10 minutes?
That sounds fine
Let's
to
try
me.
that. Okay. Here's a very important feature as well. Continue without host. What you don't want to have happen is you're halfway through your session and it's in the ground rules or in PowerPoint that says, hey, I didn't lose my connection. I'm asking you as students to please hang on for 10 minutes. If I'm not back in 10 minutes, go. Well, what's nice is this also has a feature to do that. So, for example, we can set this to 10 minutes, which means 10 minutes into my session, I lost my connection, and now I'm trying to fumble around and get back in. And, the students will automatically be dropped after 10 minutes if I don't get back in on this setting as the default. Is that okay with everybody?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Okay, so that's the settings. And that's, as you can see, this is the broadcaster over here.
Okay.
What'll happen, Brian, is every time a session has been recorded, this will start pulling out the information of download files, MP3, the links, etc. If you get into history and recording, and of course we have nothing in there. Whoops. Let's go. History and recording. This will show every session. This includes sessions that are not recorded. So every time somebody comes in and exits, you will see the start time and end time, how many attendees were, and you can tell where and all this and all that. So this is everything you see here should only be done by the administrator, because the administrator, after Brian gets a message that a session was completed, he can go in here, find that session based on the email time, and he can put in the description, and that document has some recommendations about standardized description, like fall 2014 week 1, fall midterm week 3, and that. So that way, everything's documented, and but that's for down the road how you want to come up with the standards for that. And then the recommendation is, because we have found out you can have unlimited amount of recordings for 6 months. The recommendation would be keeping all recordings till the end of the term, and then Brian, you would have to go in here and delete all the files. And then, whatever policy Richard has in terms of what meetings may or may not be sent to everybody for announcements to everybody, then based on that policy, Brian can send links, or if the requirement is to save MP3 files, that can all be downloaded and stored somewhere, etc. So
Okay. So what you're saying is here is the what you're saying is this is the way you access all of the history and recordings. And we'll establish a policy for what we want to download and what we want to store and who we want to send it to and who we want to link. All that we're discussing that later on, not now.
Exactly.
Okay, great. So,
okay,
what's the next step?
Back to okay. That's it for the setup. We're done in terms of setup. So that's how you establish the account. Now,
Okay. Now let me hold on a second, Mike. Are you saying that the account is fully established right now, and we're done with that process? The account.
Yes, in fact, if you wanted to try to send a invite to everybody here just to see if you got it,
Right.
let's do that. Okay, so this is going to be a dummy meeting. Okay, test dummy meeting. Okay. And actually, this will help. Let's see. Okay. So I have all our emails. Okay, so I'm going to put in here. Here's all the emails. Okay, separated by comments.
Mm-hmm.
And let's put the time today. It's okay. Now I set it for Central Time. This time here is at Central Time, right? So it's set to Central Time. Let's see if everybody gets this invite. Okay, I'm just going to put in. Here's the note section where we could provide lots of instructions.
Right.
Just a test. Did you get invite? Okay, here we go. Okay, that is set. And everybody should have that here.
Yeah, I think I
Okay,
just
yeah, I got it.
mine. Yep.
I got it.
Okay, go.
Great.
Yep.
Now, that's it for here, unless you want me to turn on hosting the meeting. To just at the next list, but it's your call.
Well, actually, no, I think we've accomplished what we wanted to. Certainly, there's going back to your document, I'm just going to look at that briefly. We've essentially gone through the sections for setting up the account. Now I'm looking at the section on your document. Let's see what page this is. It's page 2. It starts with all instructors other than administrator follow these rules since this is a single account. So what you're saying here is that when whoever logs into the account, they're going to get that screen which says profile, password, change this. I mean, they're essentially logging in as the account administrator because they're logging in with the password and free conference call doesn't know who they are. So what you're saying here very clearly is anybody who logs in should not change any of these features that are accessible to them, but they just shouldn't touch. Correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. The only thing, and actually, this is the next step. If you're not Brian, the next step is to just do this: host online meeting. That's it.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
And then host meeting. Your next step, once you log in, is to strictly go to here, host online meeting. I have the FCC application downloaded. That's why I immediately went to the screen. Okay, so I'm going to host the meeting.
Okay.
Now, there is one function that Joanne today have verified it, and thanks Joanne, that gives us another option. And Joanne, do you want to explain that while this is launching, or do you want me to?
Oh, you probably could explain it better, but I mean, what I did is I went to my Surface little laptop deal I have, tablet, and I went and used that and joined a meeting without downloading the software onto my Surface. And when I did that, there were little tabs at the top that enabled me to click on view the oh my gosh, what's it called? The wall, view the wall, and if the radio was on, I could see the radio and I could go ahead and turn it up and down.
I see. Right. Okay. Yeah. So right now, we're in a WebEx, and Mike is actually is hosting a meeting, or has done some invites, which is great.
Right.
Okay.
Now, you can skip this. Very important. We don't want instructors. Let's get started, and they start putting in all this information here, so they need to skip this totally. So that has to be captured.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Why does it keep? Why will it keep coming up and asking about this? Let's get started. Is it because we haven't keyed in a last name and a telephone number?
Well.
Oh.
Yeah,
because I didn't do that.
Oh, sure. Okay. Let's click that. All right. Well, click that button.
Okay. So I won't show you.
But is that pertaining to the login user or the computer?
That's a good question. Very good point. We don't know.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
think that's something to experiment with. A very good point. I don't
Well,
know if
okay.
it's tied to the computer or it's tied to. Okay. Well,
Well,
let
let me make this point then
Right.
before we go on. Is that because it may not be clear whether instructors will keep on seeing this. Let's get started. Then it'll be important, and I know Joanne is already aware. It'll be important to put that in the documentation about ignore. We'll have a picture of,
Right.
we'll have a screen clip of that screen, and we'll have a big red X through it. Don't use this screen, or something like that. So, okay, very good. So,
Okay.
what's next, Mike?
I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
I have a question.
Wait, look, Rhonda.
It applies to this. I'm sorry, it applies to this. But this is the first time I clicked on the button that said host online meeting. I mean, I've had my thing set up, but I just was going along with them just to see what was going to happen. And so what came up, it said the link needs to be opened with an application. I'm assuming it's wanting what, Flash Player? That's what's been going in the email. Is that true? Or is that, it wants me to choose an application to open this free conference call.
You should be able to just close that app. Just close it.
I cancel it and I don't. If I click on host online meeting, I'm getting a prompt for some kind of to choose an application. If I cancel it, then I'm not going to be able to host that meeting.
Okay. So let me ask you, Rhonda, have you downloaded FCC before, or was this the first time?
I downloaded the executable day before yesterday, Monday or Tuesday.
Okay. If you downloaded it today, if you previously downloaded it, you should just be able to close out that window and just go right into host session, and it'll come up.
See what? Well, it's not. I'm on my wall that I've created. I'm clicking host online meeting. It's wanting me to choose an application to run this. Do you understand? It's not letting me.
Yeah, Rhonda, let me Mike, let me make a comment here.
Well, it's prompting me for. Now it's prompting me for. It's just click here for a manual download.
Right. Well, let me make a couple of observations here. Number one is if this problem continues when you start to use our new account, then yes, we'll certainly be concerned about it. But remember that we're going to be working with the official account that we just created, and we'll want to make sure that any problems we note only stem from this account. Because if you tell us, if we look into other problems for other, your private accounts, we may be distracted. Secondly, the fact that it could happen means that we should provide in the documentation, if it turns out that we do see this problem, we need to document it and say, if you receive this screen, then do this, that, or the other. And Rhonda, what you're saying is that even though you tried what Mike said, it didn't actually work. So let's see if that happens again with our new account.
I finally saw a message pop up too that says download it manually, and it prompted me to download the executable again manually. So maybe that's it. But it would have kept going when I did that.
And Rhonda, you raised one.
I wonder if I can make you do it again.
Yeah.
Yes?
Well, you make a good point, which we'll have to keep aware of too, and that is that if you have 30 people with 30 different laptops, it's quite likely that 27 of them will be able to get in, and 3 of them are going to have trouble because of some environmental situation that's particular to them. And if that's the case and we have to troubleshoot it, well, so be it. At least we'll learn just how big an obstacle it will be. So I'm glad you are bringing up your experience, and let's see going forward whether it's something we're going to have to deal with or something we can skate by. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, good. I'm glad you raised that point. So, Mike, I see now you've actually started a meeting. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, that's correct.
And right, and I do see a window at the right which has the information. I haven't logged in yet, but I suppose I could. Well, maybe I should. Let me just go do that here. Test
so
dummy.
is everybody seeing this dashboard?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Very important because it's very confusing. as Joanne and I both found out, and others, right? Green, you would think by this being green, that means your microphone and speakers are on, and they're not. You actually have to click on this in order to turn the microphone and speakers on. But you only want one or the other. If you dial in, do not turn on the microphone and speakers, or else you're going to get an echo. If you want to use microphone and speakers, then do not dial in, one or the other. But we also experimented today. Joanne ran on her Surface this session without the STC download, which means that you get the dashboard at the top and it's pull down, which also means you can't use your headphones, but you have to dial in. But we also discovered today that with the radio on, the attendee can turn on the radio at their end, and as long as the host has turned on the radio, which has to be done, then you don't need to dial in, you don't need a headset, you can just listen in the session from your computer without anything else.
Yeah. Okay, so now I see that, let's see, where am I? On my screen, I still see waiting for presenter, even though I can see that my name...
Okay, let me try this. Good question. You're waiting for the presenter, and this is something that should also be captured in the document. Students start saying, hey, I don't see your screen yet. Hopefully you see in the dashboard right here, your screen is not being shared.
Let's see. Let me go back to the meeting.
We're doing WebEx. Oh, you probably can't see this.
Oh, no, I do. I mean, I can see it. When I go back to the WebEx and I can see your screen, I can see it says your screen's not being shared. That's why I don't see anything, even though I see it. Okay,
so let me turn it on. I'm going to share my screen.
Okay, let me go back to
the sharing my screen.
Free conference call.
Through WebEx.
Okay, super.
Okay. Now we're sharing screens. I'm not going to push the record button because we're recording within the recording. I don't know what would happen. But here's the record button. This is the pause button. This is the pause button right here, the middle one. Okay. Now this is a neat feature. This is a drawing tool that you can write on over everything else. So I can highlight any application that I did right now.
Right.
And to draw attention to something, I can then erase all drawing, just like that.
Right.
So this is a neat feature for, I can add arrows. And erase all drawings. So, and then what you just have to remember is you got to go back to this top one to get your mouse back.
Okay, so Mike, on the topic of features and functions, and I know that you acknowledge that you have a list of those to do. I'd like you to keep in mind what a minimum set of features are that someone would have to know, and then maybe an additional set, because I want to keep the number down. We could probably come up with 40 features, but let's I try to identify the top 10 or 15 at most, so that we don't have over documentation burdens and also screenshots and all that kind of stuff without the possibility that they're going to actually be used. Since I have a feeling that most instructors, their first time in, are going to be very conservative in what they're trying to do, and just wanting to get through the live lesson in with the least possible brain damage. But I know it's amazing how many features it does have. It's really quite impressive. So I see Rhonda's now joined. Very good. Well, I'll tell you what. I think everything we do past this point is gravy, because my objective was for us to actually see a live demonstration of creating the account. We've actually now gone into the host, setting up an account. But we're only about halfway through the document that you sent out the other day, Mike, and it's not my intention to go through it, but from here you go into things like recording, things like putting in your name, logging out, and some other things. So, and we'll want to go over those. We'll want to go over those certainly. And as Joanne and Rhonda and Lisa are going to be concerned with making this documentation user-friendly and accessible, they're going to want to see it too. I'm looking down responsibilities for tracking student attendance, and so forth. So, Mike, we've been on the phone for 15 minutes. I have phone homework help at 2, so it'd be good for me to be free for that. But in the next 15 minutes, do you want to bring up any other issues, or does anybody have any questions that they want to review?
Well,
Go ahead.
I was curious about the radio button, because I don't see it on right now.
Yes, and you saw me flipping around the screens. I have to go back to it and find out where did I find that, because I was flipping around the screens to try and find it, because typically the radio function, I should be able to go to, let me do this. I'm going to take you through the log out, so you can capture that. Let me log back in. We'll go through that and see if I can bring up the radio. Okay, so here, let me show you the record. I'm going to try it. Okay, I'm going to hit record. I am now recording. Okay, and then that's the pause. And I'm basically going to stop it, pause it. I'm going to come up here to, I'm going to stop the meeting. Okay, so now this screen comes up and says, do you want to stop the entire meeting? I'm going to say yes. Okay, that goes away. Now notice I'm back at this home page. I got to come to log out. If you don't log out, you're still going to be sitting there. So it's very important that end the session and then log out. So I'm going to log out. Okay, and now if Brian can check his email, and see if the recording came. And while that's going on, I'm going to log back in. Okay, so I'm going to enter my account, and that was CGS 2060. That's gmail.com. Is that correct?
No,
okay.
.cci.
Oh, dots.
.cci.
.cci. Gmail.com.
That's correct.
And then it was all mini.
Fall mini.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to go to the meeting wall first. And I think it's, not going to like the radio. All right.
Mike.
Yeah.
Could you go down and click on? Could you go down and click on the history tab? I just want to see what's in there now, because we should see.
Oh, there it is.
Okay.
That's the session.
Right. That's.
Okay. Yeah. Good.
Right.
I'm glad you brought that up. Here's where you can download the MP3 file.
Yeah.
You can lock the file. You can delete the file, and here's the share link. Okay. There's the link. You can just copy and paste that.
Okay, so that's
let's take a look at let's look at the broadcast side of this.
okay, the broadcaster. Okay, it was a 8-second video, right? So you can do pretty much the same thing here.
Yes.
Okay. Huh. Okay,
Now,
cool.
The difference is the broadcaster is only capturing recorded sessions, whereas the history and recording is capturing sessions that were not recorded.
Right.
So anytime you log in and log out.
Okay. Great.
And I'm going to have to find the radio separately because I don't know. I found it before. I got to where it was before.
Right.
Because we did that yesterday. I'm doing it.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, let's see.
Real quick, it's been a thing to the email saying, you know, that the meeting was held and for this many minutes and stuff, but I don't see a recording in it. I see a start time and end time.
That's correct. You will not see the recording in the email. You have to go to the broadcaster to get it right here. And then you can get the link right there.
Just making sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And to go back down below, okay, right here gives you descriptions, nice little feature of everything. So I went here to radio, okay? You want to use the radio feature, okay? So it's on the wall. But why it's not on the wall right now, I don't know. I'll figure it out and I'll call FCC because it is there on my account. I don't know why it's not here on this one. So I need to figure out why the radio feature. And normally the radio feature sits right down here. And
right. I set my account up and it was not there, and I had to add it. So I have to figure it out too. I did it this morning. I added it when I tried it out on the Surface.
How'd you edit?
It was missing. That's what I'm trying to remember. I'm not sure exactly how I did it, so I'm looking again to see how, and I'll let you know.
Okay.
Go ahead and talk about some other things and see if I can do it real quick.
Yeah, Mike, could you please just give a quick review of what the radio feature is?
Yes. Okay. The radio feature basically is two parts. The host turns on the radio, and then the attendee turns on the radio. The attendee only needs to turn on the radio if they are listening in without dialing in a phone number or using a headset on the computer. Meaning, since we have the chat feature, students will just use this chat feature right here and start typing in and can talk to the instructor like that.
Mike, if you want to check, you see where it says CGS 2060 and that little deal you can click on it and get the drop-down menu right there?
Yes.
And then go to wall preferences?
Yes.
And there should be a little area there that says radio down there. You turn it on.
There it is. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go through that again because here's why I know Joanne, beautiful. I'm glad you did that. What has happened, actually, we have now set this hopefully to be on all the time down here. I forgot that you first have to go initially to set the default. This is a default setting of the wall preferences. I forgot about this. So we have to default for the radio to be on and save it. Now there's the second step is, even though the radio is defaulted on, it's only defaulted on to present the icon on the host. Each session, the host should turn it on.
Okay.
Why? Because if a attendee comes in and doesn't want to call in and long distance call, doesn't have a headset, and they're just want to listen in like we're all doing. If you don't have this on, even though the attendee has it on, they won't hear you. So it's very important that this has to be on.
Okay, Joanne.
But now,
hold on a second, Mike. Joanne just wants to make a comment. Since you are are very familiar with this, and since it's not, I don't believe it's in the documentation that Mike put forth the other day. I'll just remind you to include this. This is really part of the customization, or not the customization. This is part of the setup. In other words, when we set up the account, we could have gone into the wall preferences and set that up, and that should be stated as such, rather than as an afterthought later on.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm taking pictures of things as we're going. Not that I'm getting everything. I'm hoping other people are taking pictures too. But once we set that on, all we have to do is, it's just viewable. So when you log in, it'll be viewable. All they have to do is turn it on by clicking on, and that will be in the instructions.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's a two-step process. You have to configure it to have that radio icon appear at all, and then once you're in the meeting.
No, that's for the administrator it'll already be there. The next time you log in, it'll be there all the time.
Right. Yeah. As long as as long as the administrator sets it up from the get-go, which we didn't do. And
now we've done it.
Right.
So watch.
Well, now it's done, right?
Yeah.
Because this is the account we're using.
That's true. But remember, hold on 1 second. The part of the purpose of the documentation we're coming up with is for others to use this product in the future. But it's already set up for our account, but somebody else might need to set it up for another account. Okay, very good. Very good.
Exactly. So what happened is when I went through all the default features and set those up for everybody, until Joanne pointed it out, I forgot that I initially set up long ago on my other account through here. Yeah. So now, as Joanne mentioned, I logged out. I just logged back in. Notice the radio's there now because that's the default.
But you have to put it on air.
You got to turn it on, right?
On air. Yeah.
So it's important that when you first come in, let's go through this one more time because it's important to know. It helps in sequence to do it the same way all the time, I think. So you're going to come in, you log in, enter the password. Okay, so then you enter the session. Okay, the first thing the instructor should do before even hosting is just go to the meeting wall and turn on the radio.
Oh, it is on.
Make sure it's on.
Or maybe, okay. Well, at the very least, it should say, make sure the radio is on. If it's on, it's on. If it's off, they have to turn it on.
Yeah, and I think it was left on because I ended the session by logging out properly.
Right. Mike, I have a question. Mike, I want you to answer this question if you would. You mentioned that if the student does or doesn't have a headset, then there's two different options. You said if they have a headset, they can use. I'm not sure why having a headset makes a difference in which mode that they have to approach the meeting with.
Oh, okay. Let's go over the basic 3 ways we've now learned how to get in. One way is without the FCC controller download, meaning somebody joins the session without launching the application.
Yes.
They would then get the chat screen at the top.
Yes.
But by getting the chat screen at the top, you cannot use your headset. You must dial in.
Yes, okay.
That's one. The second way is if somebody joins the session and downloads the FCC, they can just plug their headset into the computer, bypass any dial-in, and talk that way.
Right.
The third option is they haven't downloaded the FCC. They don't want to make a long-distance call. They just go to the session, and when they join the session, and actually we would have to go through somebody would have to be an attendee, and Joanne did that today, so maybe Joanne could capture the steps of being an attendee and turning on the radio, and then therefore they are in the session without the FCC downloaded, without dialing in, without a headset, the very basic way you can be in the session. The only thing we failed to prove today
Now attending.
was the smartphone. If somebody comes in on a smartphone, as of right now, the only thing we know they can do is go to the browser, join the session, and then dial in on their smartphone and do it that way. We were hoping that they could turn on the radio and not dial it.
Right.
But my smartphone will not allow it, and Joanne's smartphone didn't allow it.
Okay, can I jump in, please? Because I've been quiet for a long time.
Yep. Go ahead.
Did you sigh, Joanne? Because if
Yeah.
you sighed, I'm going to turn off your phone.
Well, I thought you were snoring. I heard somebody breathing really loud, and I thought
Yeah.
maybe you fell asleep.
No, not me. I was listening. I did get up, go to the bathroom once. I'll tell you this: I don't even at this point want to consider smartphone. I do not at this point want to consider multiple ways to get in, because all you're doing is confusing instructors and students. I addressed this in writing. I want it leaned down, and everybody's here so you all can hear me. Number two, I have sent you guys, I don't know if the image will fit, I have sent you the image that'll be there as the default image, and we don't have to worry about that. And number three, where you can declare who you're sending a report to as the default, I want me in there. Okay, so those are three things that are necessary for me. We need to, and I heard you say this, Steve, we need to get down to the minimum to make sure it works before we start loading on other things. I don't want to give people a lot of options. These are students that are not doing well in CGS 2060. I don't know what their technological expertise is, but if they have trouble downloading Office, I know I've said this, these words exactly. If they have trouble downloading Office, I don't know that they're going to be willing to try downloading FCC, or that they're going to be capable. And to be honest with you, I don't know that most of our instructors will be capable in guiding them through that. So think about leaning it down, Steve.
Okay.
I'm going to go back to my nap now.
Okay. Thank you, Richard. Yes, and I agree with Richard certainly on the smartphone, but we've been through that territory before. And, oops, hold on a second. And as regards the multiple ways of getting in, we'll have to think a little bit harder about that, because I'm not sure. I'm not sure if there's a way to preclude students from getting in ways that we don't want them to get in. And Mike, you mentioned the three different ways, and yes, it's on the one hand they're great options to be able to have. On the other hand, if we want to funnel everybody in a certain way, let's think about that. I know there's the issue of, well, gee, what if it's a long distance call and now we're costing the students money? We'll have to let's put our heads toward that. But right now, I think it's just fair to say that we have three ways to get in. We want to keep it simple. We want to see what makes sense with all the other restrictions on that. And I had one more thing to say, which was, Joanne, I've got I'm taking a video of my entire screen. So everything you've seen, I've seen. Every screenshot that you could possibly want will be in this video. All you have to do is as you play the video, if you go, oh, I like that screen, just pause the video, take a screen clip, and you've got all the necessary.
Excellent. Okay.
Right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload this video to YouTube. Unfortunately, the sound was a little dicey. It might be a little tough to hear, but all the screens are there. I'll put the link to this video in Google Docs, and I'll tell you where it is. And then when you want to watch the video, you can just click on the link and you'll see the video.
All right. Thanks.
Okay. Well, then, I'll tell you what, we've made a lot of progress, like I said. Mike, thank you very much, Brian, and everybody for attending. Rhonda, I think we've started to see how we're going to progress through this. I mean, the next step is to have another meeting, and I think I said that we need to meet more than just twice more. if we can do this again either tomorrow or Monday, where we now demonstrate what it's like for an instructor to, Joe instructor with a list of what to do can actually follow through that and get into be hosting a live session. And if everybody sees that, then everybody will get the sense of what it's really going to take to document, to train, what problems there are, what questions, natural questions come up. I think this is good operational training to prepare for our rollout. So I feel very good about it. Any other questions before we end the meeting? Great. So thanks very much, Mike. You did a great job going through that. I feel much more informed about it, and I will let you know when I have the video posted so you could review it if you care to.
Okay, great. Thanks for the feedback.
Okay, thanks. So now thanks. So I've got to drop out of 2 meetings here. I got to drop out of the free conference call. Oh, that's over. That's done. Okay. So long.